recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, hello folks, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, welcoming you back to Kitchen Counter Thrift Haul Vintage Christmassy Glass number 2. Now number 1 was last night, this is number 2, and hopefully tomorrow, Wednesday, will be number 3. But I'm going to pull back on that and not make a promise because I have a luncheon date tomorrow. I shouldn't say date, there's nothing romantic about it, but notice I didn't say I'm going out for lunch with a friend. I mean, that could be a hoagie down at Reading Terminal or a cheesesteak down in South Philly. That's lunch. No, I'm going to a luncheon tomorrow, so got to get spruced up for that. So I don't know, I might not be able to come back Wednesday night. I'll do my best. But anyway, I'm calling it Christmassy glass because nothing here was actually manufactured for Christmas. But when you put it all together like this, with some vintage candy and lights and old-fashioned tablecloths and whatnot, it takes on a joyous holiday feel. So you can decorate for Christmas with old vintage glass. And I'm glad you're tuning in today. Thanks for watching last night and for coming back to watch again today. I'm starting off with some hot coffee here in my Anchor Hocking restaurant ware cup and saucer. Much harder to find these restaurant ware pieces than just the sort of the Jane Ray pattern. Very, very sought after, and a lot of times these are all torn up from harsh restaurant handling, dishwashers and so forth, but this one's in really good shape. Put a little peppermint stick in there, as you can see, to give it some sweetener and some flavor. All right, let's see what's what. Right in front here, I'm selling 3 pieces of glass all together in one little collection. 2 pieces of crackle glass and a beautiful plate. That's right, all 3 of these together.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Oh dear.
That's nice. Get the candy cane out of there for a minute. The blue, which just looks like cracked ice, doesn't it? Are you ready for ice? Oh, I don't know. I haven't gotten my snow scraper out yet, but that's pretty. And then they're also coming with this one lone depression glass plate beautiful. It's not crackle glass. It actually has an embossed pattern on it. I don't know the pattern. I'd love to have more of it. So those three pieces will all be grouped together in one auction. Festive glass there for Christmas. Now let's see, by Hazel Atlas I've got two of these wonderful 1929, I think this pattern came out in 1929. This one is filled with Starlight Mints. And here's the identical bowl over here. Now I'm going to sell both of them together in one auction. These will fluoresce under a black light. They do have uranium in them, and you can see clearly on the bottom Hazel Atlas was very proud to put their HA. Now we know that's not Anchor Hocking, a common mistake, it's Hazel Atlas. This is a large berry bowl. There would have been small berry bowls to go with it, 6 of them, but I only have the 2 large serving bowls, so you'll get that one and this second one over here. Let's transfer so I can show you that it's the exact same bowl. So what would you do with these 2 bowls on your Christmas table? Serve candy, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. Now we'll go to the Jeanette Company. We've often talked about Fostoria's American and Jeanette's Cubed, and I can never remember the name of the designer, but he designed both. American first for Fostoria. Then he left. That was 1915 or 16. Then he left, and in the early 30s he went to Jeanette and he did this pattern, which is very similar. This is a cube or cubist pattern, and this again is a master berry bowl that would have come with smaller bowls that I don't have. But it's a very festive piece. It dates to the early 30s. It's easily chipped with all of these points. And you might find a tiny little speck of roughness here and there, but I wouldn't really call any of those any major chips. It's nothing that you can see, it's nothing you'd cut your hand on, but maybe just a little bit of roughness on a couple of these points. Now, we have to thank Anchor Hocking for all of their forest green and ruby red. We'll talk about the Anchor Hocking pieces now. Back here are 3 vases. You're getting all 3 of these in one auction. And you could do a lot with these. Ruby Red came on the scene in the mid-30s. The Forest Green came on a few years later. And they remained in production, I believe, into the early 60s. But these are 3 Ruby Red vases. You can see they're clean. You've got to watch for cloudiness on these. So you could use these for vases or make Christmas centerpieces out of them or whatever you'd like. You get all 3 of them again. Sort of in a modern style, or somewhat a deco style, I guess. Let's stick with the Ruby Red vases. We'll go over here. Here's another one by Hocking. This is a nice tall one. Can't really see it back there. The candy canes, I think, help you get an idea of the size. This one has a ruffled top. Sometimes this vase comes in oh my goodness, I've seen it in other colors. I've also seen it painted decorations on it, but it's a tall vase, again in that ruby red color. And ruby red, as you know, is a color, not a pattern. Now this is called the Coronation Pattern, and this is produced by Anchor Hocking in the early 30s, around 1936 or so. I'm missing one of the berry bowls. There's only 5 here. There would have been 6. We have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of them is hiding down inside the master bowl. As I said, it is called the Coronation Pattern, and it dates to around 1936. Wonderful for your rice pudding. There's some little pieces of sugar in there from the gumdrops. That's the big bowl. The big master bowl, master berry bowl. And then, as I said, the little 6 minis that you get with it. I'm sorry, 5. If you want 6, you could easily find the 6th one. If you want to have 12 of them for a major dessert, you could do that too. And what a nice way to serve your guests. With glass that goes all the way back to the Great Depression. And then Anchor Hocking as well made these little sherbet glasses here that are in the ruby red with this boopy foot. That's boopy or bubble. And that's the design of the foot here, the glass foot on the bottom. So I have 4 of these. And get yourself some forest green charm saucers to put these on as underplates. It's wonderful. I've got some of those saucers around here somewhere. I should have shown that to you to inspire you. Let's see. Boy, I'm going fast today. This piece over here is not uranium glass. It will not glow under a black light, and I don't know who made it. It's a really nice blown glass. I'll get those candy canes out in a minute. It's a delicate thing, very thin green glass vase. Again, probably dates to the 1930s. And let's see it. Let's see it up close. Move these out of the way and let you have a better look at it. It's really pretty. I said a delicate green color, and the pencil has been polished off, so it's a hand-blown piece. Origin unknown to me. Okay, before I talk about the 3 white vases in the back, I talked yesterday about the vintage Christmas decoration, or I hope that I said that the Christmas decorations aren't for sale. They're just here to add some panache to my display. And as well as this piece here isn't going to be for sale either. That's going to be on the Christmas tree. So I might have forgot to mention that yesterday. Also, this guy is lurking back here. You saw 3 of these yesterday. He's coming out as an honorable mention. I still only have 3, but I'm going to come back in a video sometime this week, I hope, and talk a little bit more, because I really didn't go into detail about this yesterday, and I referred to it as a vase, and by Anchor Hocking. It is Anchor Hocking, but if you just Google this, you're going to go down a rabbit hole of confusion. And that's where the reference guides come in handy, because there is some discussion. Is it a humidor that's missing its lid? Is it a cookie jar missing its lid? It looks like it might have been made by Indiana or maybe Tierra. Boy, is it a mystery? Not really, but I'll talk more about it in a video this week. Just be assured that it is an Anchor Hocking open cookie jar. This particular piece was never manufactured with a lid. Never manufactured with a lid. I don't want to get ahead of myself in talking too much about it, but we'll come back later and do that. Lastly on the counter are these 3 1930s Vitroc vases, and these are also made by Anchor Hocking. Now, oftentimes the word Vitroc will be imprinted right on the bottom. These are not marked Vitroc, but they are Vitrock. It's a funny formula for a milk glass, which isn't really a true white milk glass the way Indiana or Westmoreland would be. This has more of almost an ivory or a custardy kind of a look. It is glass, and you see if I put it up into the light bulb here, you can see that it almost has a slag glass look to it. And it is sort of a custard looking glass. Now, these were made in the 30s. Vitroc, I think, was only made for just a few years, maybe something like 1932 to 1936, something like that, roughly. Just a few years in the 30s. They made some not so impressive dinner sets out of Vitroc, a lot of kitchen things, shakers and range sets and so forth. There seems to be a lot of these vases floating around. I collected all 3 of these, and I'm selling them separately. So there'll be 3 separate auctions for the 3 separate vases, but wouldn't they look nice all lined up on a mantle or a dining room table with some kind of a wonderful Christmas arrangement in them. There are no chips or cracks on them. I really like that modern deco style that you see on these, especially those little curly cues on the side. Vitroc glass by Anchor Hocking, the early 1930s. Okay, did I forget anything? I don't think so. I'll just back up and let you see it all again. Once again, thank you for watching last night. Thank you for watching today's video. And be sure to tune in again later this week. Maybe tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, I'll certainly be back on Thursday with part 3. And I even have enough for part 4. And in part 4, I'm actually going to have some ceramic pieces and some of the other traditional Christmas decorations that wouldn't necessarily be glass. So if glass isn't your thing and you would like to see some vintage Christmas decorations, they're coming up later this week as well. Okay everyone, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this cup of coffee, and I wish you a happy afternoon or evening. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Thanks for watching. So long for now.